Welcome into another live edition of the Danny Sancomb Show, bringing you basketball after a weekend off. No men's or women's hoops in action, a rarity, but everybody in the league gets a bye week every now and again. So it's all full go after this. So Wednesdays and Saturdays throughout, 6 games left in the regular season before PSAC tournament action. At this time, I'd like to welcome in Coach Danny Sancomb.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be back.
Yeah. So Coach, let's just dive right into the UPGA game. Entering the game, both teams tied for second place in the PSAC West. Second meeting of the year, heading out to Johnstown. They had come away with a 20-point win over you last time. You know, both teams seemed to exchange points early in that game, but you know, your team's able to get a 9-1 run, a 7-0 run, build a 29-18 lead. Were you happy with the early start for the team?
Yeah, we played great offensively to start the game. We moved the ball, we took good shots. Obviously, we made shots, that always helps, but we were executing at a high level to start the game, and they were having trouble guarding us for sure. We weren't guarding as well as I would have liked to start the game, but I thought we kind of settled in there and had a 29-18 lead, and I felt good about things. I thought we were playing our type of pace, and it felt like it was our type of game.
Yeah, we got the highlights playing here, courtesy of CUTV. Thanks to Gary Smith and the crew for heading out to Johnstown. So, Coach, I mean, if you're watching the game really early in that game like I was, you noticed that Jermaine Hall Jr. was really having a big game to start out. He had 17 points in the first half with 3 rebounds, 6 of 10 from the field, 5 3-pointers. I mean, it seems like what he took from the Slippery Rock game was really developing early in that game in the first half, especially with Brent out with 2 fouls a little later in the first half.
Yeah, when Jermaine gets it going, he can score the basketball. When his feet are set and he's locked in and he takes open threes, he's going to make them. He's a good shooter, and he got some good looks early against Pitt Johnstown, and he was able to knock them down. And he always brings the rebounding, and he makes good passes. He always does the little things. But, you know, here in the last, 10 games, he's really played well for us offensively.
Now, did you feel like as the game, it seemed like they were willing to give you that outside shot, or did you feel like you were developing that shot and that's what you wanted throughout the game?
Yeah, I thought we were doing a good job getting it into the lane, and we were getting good looks for the 3. So I felt good about it. Obviously, we were making them because we were taking good looks. So I thought we did a good job with that.
Yeah, so we're playing the second half here, but let's talk about the end of the first half. UPJ closes the half with an 18-2 run in the final 3+ minutes of there. They go into the half with a 9-point lead. What do you feel really broke down in that final 3 minutes for you?
Just defensively, we were as bad as we could be. And I talked about this earlier in the year. Sometimes we have stretches in games where we just don't play well, and that was one of them. Brent picked up his second foul, I think, with 7 minutes and 15 seconds left in the first half, and I think we had a 9 or 10-point lead, and we were down 9 at the end of the half. And they went to a 2-3 zone, and we had some guys in there that just were a little bit confused, with that, and we didn't execute well. So I thought we took we didn't take great shots, and we were able to allow them to get into transition, and then they started burying threes and got really, really hot and finished the half, up 9 and hit a 3 right at the buzzer to go into the half and have all the momentum going in.
Yeah, Josh Wise, had a great game there. He gives you, he gives that team, I think, 26 points in that game. He really had it going from 3-point range. Your team, UPJ comes out in the second half and is, playing just as well as they were to end the first half. They end up building their lead up to 66-53 with about 14 minutes left, but your team really battled back. You trim it to a 5-point game in the final 5 minutes. You got to be happy with the way the team battled even through that adversity.
Yeah, we always battle, so that doesn't surprise me. We're good and we usually play hard. We just didn't play smart there. And when you go on the road and you're playing, a team as good as Pitt Johnstown is, you have to be able to not only play hard, you've got to execute at a high level, and we did not execute defensively at all. And we just had some mental breakdowns. We did some things uncharacteristic, not doubling when we were supposed to doubling, not closing out on guys that are really good shooters and giving them great looks. So it was a little bit uncharacteristic. We didn't defend the 3 very well at all, especially in the first half. Second half, they took 6 and I think made 1, which were more typical of doing, but we just did not defend well, period. We didn't rebound, period. They just were better than we were Wednesday.
Yeah, I guess the bright spot in this game you could talk about was Brent Pegram. He goes out with those 2 fouls with about, like you said, about 7 minutes left. Finishes with the game-high 29 points on 9 of 17 shooting, 6 3-pointers, 21 points in the second half, 8 assists, 4 steals. Very strong performance from him, despite sitting on the bench late there.
Yeah, well, they played 2-3 zone the majority of the game. After the first 10 minutes of the game, they played the rest of the first half in a 2-3, and they played the whole second half in a 2-3. And we scored 51 or 53 points in the second half. We just couldn't get stops. And, when Brent's open, which you're going to find some open holes in zones and get good looks, he took great shots, and he shot a very high percentage and played, extremely well offensively for us by shooting the three well and, making good plays when he would drive. So that was, I guess, a bright spot. But, just bitter with that type of game and the magnitude of that game that we just didn't play at the level we started, playing. The first, 12 minutes of the game, we were locked in, and we lost focus a little bit when they went 2-3. So we just got to be a little bit better with our focus and understand what we need to do for 40 minutes. And you got to do it for 40 minutes against a good team.
Yeah, things have definitely been picking up in the PSAC West. Mercyhurst has been getting it going. Gannon's been getting it going here lately. So it's very tight in the top 5 there, I'd say, in the league. Jermaine Hall Jr. finishes with 19 points, 7 rebounds. Luke House with 16 points, 9 rebounds. Tim Smith, 13 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. And Zion Collins, let's talk about him recently. He battled foul trouble against Slippery Rock, and he was dealing with a little bit of foul issues during UPJ, 14 points. I mean, has it been the foul trouble, or how do you kind of get him going here going forward here?
Yeah, I think he's been a little bit out of rhythm. Offensively, I think teams have been trying to defend him certain ways. He's just got to figure out, stay confident. He's great. He's going to get back into it, I'm sure, tomorrow for us. Just need him to be aggressive. And when he's aggressive and he makes the right basketball decision, good things happen for the Vulcans, for sure.
Yeah. So, Coach, UPJ finishes with 3 guys, end up with double-doubles in that game. I mean, we talked about them prior to the game, but talk about a team there. I mean, they're just such a tough team to play. What is it? I mean, it seems like it's depth, it's youth, it's coaching that really helps them be such a successful program.
Yeah, I think they just move the ball well. We fouled too much, so they were in position to score free points from the free throw line. So, we have to be better with that. But they execute. They get the ball to the guys in the areas where they're effective, and they share the ball very, very well. They're a very unselfish basketball team, and they'll give up a good shot for a great shot, and that's why they shoot over 50% from the half court. And they have guys that understand their role. They really know who they are, and they don't step out of their lanes. They stay within themselves.
Yeah, one of the best shooting teams UPJ is. We talked about them being number 1 in the conference, shooting over 50% from the field. They finished the game shooting 52.6%, and like Coach said, they did foul a lot. UPJ ends up making 30 of 37 from the free throw line, so there's a lot of points adding up there with the clock stopped. And then 28 points in the paint, 19 bench points for UPJ. Cal U finishes the game with a 40.5% shooting percentage, shoots 94.4% from the free throw line, made 17 of 18 from there, so good shooting night from the line. 20 second chance points and then 19 points off turnovers. UPJ comes away with the win, 103-94 in that game, high scoring affair compared to the second meeting between the sides. So, Coach, we ended up going to the weekend, no game, rare weekend off in the league for Cal U. I mean, how was practice during that off week, and how did your team, what'd you do on Saturday?
Good. It just stinks not to play when you get into routine and you're playing every Wednesday, Saturday, and especially when you lose. You have to wait a week to play. It's very agitating, but we practiced well. We practiced Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and had 3 good practices, took off Sunday and came back Monday and Tuesday, and we're ready to play, on Wednesday. I think we know what we need to do if we want to beat IUP, and we've got to be ready to do it for 40 minutes.
Yeah, definitely good to see you be able to get in. We got our first snowfall of the year here, significant snowfall here of the year. It's good to see that we were able to get in practice. So, Coach, I mean, I guess one benefit of the time off is, health of the team. Guys get to recover. It seems like Zababa played 1 game in the last 2 weeks, so it seems like he's been able to recover the thumb quite a bit.
Yeah, I think it's getting better, obviously. I think this is about as healthy as we've been for the entire year, so I like that. As healthy as you can be in February. Some guys, have soreness and they're nicked up a little bit just through the course of the season, but I feel like we are as healthy as we've been all year, and I think we can utilize all of our depth finally here coming down the final stretch in February.
So, Coach, I mean, we had the weekend off. I mean, how was the weekend for you? What games did you catch, if you watched any D1 or D2 games?
Yeah, for me, I obviously watched the Slippery Rock IUP game. I watched, obviously, the Duke and North Carolina game on Saturday as well. And then I followed some of the D2 scores in our conference earlier in the day Saturday when I wasn't getting some things caught up around my house.
Had to make you kind of grit your teeth. UNC kind of blew it there a little late, and Duke ends up coming away with the win.
Crazy game, absolutely. I think that's why, you hear coaches say all the time, play till the end, and throwing the ball off the rim and the ball bouncing the way it did and them recovering it and being able to score. It was just a crazy game. And then North Carolina just couldn't make a foul shot down the stretch either. So it was a little self-inflicted and a little bit of luck that didn't go North Carolina's way. And I think if they clean up those two errors, they would have won the game by 10, 15 points.
Yeah, it's been a tough season for UNC. I mean, talk about two teams coming in with the exact same wins in the series and the exact same point total, which is very, very random. But like you said, Coach, I mean, IUP comes away, we're going to talk about it a little later, but IUP comes away with a 36-point win against Slippery Rock. And then I thought an interesting one, I mean, you keep up with the MEC a little bit too. Charleston picking up 2 losses. I think, that's very interesting.
Yeah, tough week. They're going through a little bit of what we went through about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. They have 3 guys out with the flu. So that always hurts. And I think the Robinson kid, I don't know if he missed both games or played a little bit in one of the games, but he was been under the weather, and he's there. He does everything for him, rebounds, scores. So not having him really hurts. So I think they kind of fell into that trap with 3 guys missing and weren't able to overcome that.
So, Coach, something we typically don't talk about too much on the show is the recruiting trail. I mean, we don't have to get into any specifics about players, obviously, but I think a lot of people fail to realize how the season coincides with the high school season, so they overlap. So, you're spending a lot of time on the road, not only coaching games for Cal U, but also looking at high school talent as well.
Yeah, obviously having the Saturday off, we utilized getting on the road Thursday, Friday, and Coach Bridgman and Coach Duffy were out Saturday as well, but I was out Thursday at a practice, and then Friday watching games, and Saturday Coach Bridgman and Coach Duffy were watching games. So it's kind of nice to have that because it's hard. We're playing every Wednesday, Saturday. Most high school basketball, which is nice, plays Tuesday, Friday, so we're able to go see games during the season. But it's it's difficult. You got games coming up. You want to make sure you're prepared. You want to make sure you spend enough time with your guys. But you have to also hit the road. And everybody knows that's in this industry that recruiting is vital. If you want to be successful, you got to go out and get great players and develop them. So that's a big part of what we do. So we've got to be on point with that and continue to work hard in that area.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know any staff that hit the road harder than you guys did, especially last year. Is it less stressful this year? You brought in such a large freshman class, but is that still, you're still working very hard to get the next class in?
Yeah, much different as far as the numbers we don't need this year. We've got a great core coming back. We have 2 scholarship players that we'd like to bring in for next year, and we want to add the right pieces and the right people that fit into our system and our university and really gel with the guys that are in our program. And we've been very selective with that, and I think we've got it narrowed down to about 12 guys that if we can get the guys out of this 12 that we want, the 2 guys, I think we're going to be in really good shape.
We always talk about when we're walking over here what a beautiful campus it is here at Cal U. What's one of your favorite selling points of this program?
I think everything about our campus. You can walk into an academic building and see the great technology, beautiful classrooms, our athletic facilities. Our gym is as nice as you could ever ask for. But then everything else that goes with it, with Bobby in the strength and conditioning room, all of that stuff, having the other gym. We've got everything that anybody could want, and it's compact. It's not like you're going to have to take a bus and go from one side of campus to the other. You can get there in a walking, a 5-6 minute walk, and I think it's big enough, and the dorms are as nice as you could possibly want. I don't think we're going to lose recruits because somebody has a better campus than we do. I just don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, nothing not to like here at Cal U under Danny Sancomb era here with the men's basketball program. We're going to take a break here on the Danny Sancomb Show. When we come back, we're going to discuss the standings, the scores from the week, and then we're going to look at our upcoming schedule and discuss the IUP game on Wednesday night. We'll be right back with the Danny Sancomb Show. Welcome back into the Danny Sancomb Show. I'm your host, Alex King, joined alongside with Coach Danny Sancomb. Let's take a look at the Saturday results. Cal U not in action, but we can see what the rest of the PSAC West and the PSAC East did. Shippensburg picking up a win against Mansfield, 81-55. Lock Haven coming away with the win over Kutztown. Mercyhurst routed Clarion 86-44. A very close game for Seton Hill Gannon. Gannon ends up coming away with the win there. A very gritty game throughout. It was close down to the final couple minutes there as well. Shepherd with a big win over Bloomsburg. East Stroudsburg really getting things going with a win over Millersville. And we have Pitt Johnstown picking up a pretty good win over Edinburgh. And then, as we said, the big game of that night was the IUP game, defeating Slippery Rock. Shippensburg, lone team in the PSAC East with a clinch spot, but Mercyhurst and Gannon both picking up clinches in the PSAC West. So we'll take a look at the standings here after this week's results to see how things are shaping out. As we can see now, we have 5 teams now in the PSAC West that have clinched a spot in the tournament. Seeding still to be determined. Obviously, very minimal games separating the teams, so it's still a lot to play for in these last 6 games. IUP obviously at top with a 14-2 record. Bouncing off that a week off and then winning over against Slippery Rock after losing to Mercyhurst the previous week. Johnstown keeping things going at 13-4, Mercyhurst at 12-5, Cal U at 11-5, and then Gannon at 11-6, followed by Slippery Rock holding up that sixth and final spot that would be for the PSAC West. I mean, Coach, it's quite tight here, and you got to stress to your team there's a lot to play for here. Yeah,
there's no doubt. This is where you want to be in February, where the games really do matter. And you're excited about it, and you're fighting for seeds and trying to get the lowest seed you can possibly get. So we want to continue to do that. Feel good about where our team is. Obviously, we're in a tough stretch here with Pitt Johnstown and IUP, the first 2 teams, first place and second place respectively, and that's part of it. So we just got to be ready to play on Wednesday and hopefully stop the bleeding, so to speak. After a loss on Wednesday, we don't want to lose 2 in a row, so we want to be able to bounce back and play our brand of basketball and get the job done tomorrow night.
Yeah, 6 games left here, 3 at home, 3 away, so definitely it's going to be quite a stretch of going on the road, including a trip up to Edinburgh and a trip up to Mercyhurst, so 2 long trips there. We'll take a look at the PSAC standings as things are, as me and Coach have always said, tighter than ever. As little separation has been between these sides, as Shippensburg still the lone team that has clinched in the PSAC East, 15-2 there, and then you have East Stroudsburg who have really gotten things going, 4 wins in a row for that program, 10-7 in conference. They've taken over the second place spot. Westchester, such a strong start, but have really fallen back here coming into conference play, but still holding on to the 3rd seed. And then we have Millersville, Kutztown, Lock Haven holding on the rest of the spots there. But like we said, I mean, there's teams there with 6 and 5 wins there, and that could just flip in the span of just 1 week. As we talk in this conference, the 1 and the 2 receive a bye, and the 3 and the 4 get to host the games. So those are vital spots to be in. Come down the stretch here. I mean, it's quite tight on that side as well, right, Coach?
It's unbelievable. Every game there is. I mean, if you have a bad week there, you could go from being in to being out very quickly.
Yeah, it's quite a trip over there. So let's dive into the IUP game, Coach. I mean, last meeting there, they were ranked number 7. The rankings are coming out here either today or tomorrow, so I anticipate them still being ranked within the top 10 as well as they've been playing. They come away with an 86-69 win over you. One of the premier programs in the Atlantic region in general. Last win for Cal U at home against this program was in 2012. I mean, Coach, the score really doesn't tell how close that game was outside of the final 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was 7 minutes left in the game. I think it's a 3 or 4 point game, and I think they're an experienced team, and our youth showed a little bit down the stretch there where I think we tried to do a little bit too much offensively, and then we had some breakdowns defensively. They made some shots, which they're going to do because they're very good, and we just kind of got sped up a little bit and didn't play like we needed to, or didn't play like we did the first 33 minutes of the game, and got a little bit ugly there at the end.
Yeah, I've got the highlights playing here from the previous game. Once again, thanks to Gary Smith and the crew for heading out to IUP for that game. 19-12, IUP is currently 14-2 in conference play. Like I said, had the week off after the loss to Mercyhurst, came back with a big win over Slippery Rock on Saturday. Some of the strengths of this team, Coach, I would say, as we say with any good team, they don't beat themselves, and that's why they've been one of the premier programs in the nation year in and year out. Fewest fouls, great field goal percentage defense, only allowing teams to shoot under 40%, winning by an average of 18 points a game, great 3-point defense, and forcing a good amount of turnovers. I mean, just goes back to how good their coaching is.
Yeah, they got good players too. I mean, that always helps, and they, they defend. You start looking at teams that are elite. They play very good defense, and they make it difficult on teams to score the basketball. And IUP does that. They do a lot of switching, so they're capable of guarding 1 through 4. They don't mind switching at all, and every now and then they'll switch all 5 guys. So they're very effective defensively, and then offensively, they got guys that can make plays, and they put their guys in position to make plays. A lot of ball screens, a lot of sets. So they're a difficult team to guard.
So, Coach, I think one of the biggest things was in the second half for IUP, they ended up shooting nearly 70%, and obviously Brent was battling foul trouble. I don't even think he played 25 minutes in that game. I mean, do you believe this game coming up on Wednesday is going to come down to the team that plays the best defense?
Yeah, we're going to have to play defense if we want to win, for sure, better than we did last time we met them. You can't let a team shoot 70% and a half and expect to win the basketball game. That's pretty hard to do without any defense, let alone guys guarding. So we've got to make them miss, and when they do miss, we got to rebound the basketball. But we got to be tough and execute on both ends of the court if we want to win the game.
Yeah, IUP only made 9 shots in the first half of that game in Indiana, which was great defense from Cal. I think there were 9 of 30 from the field. Coach, you took a lead into the halftime. A lot of people failed, you see the score, but it was 33-28 at the half due to strong play from Luke House and Tim Smith, who ended up finishing the game. House with 18, Tim Smith with 17. I mean, it's going to take a complete effort from your team, including good play from your experienced players like Brent, Zion, and Jermaine Hall.
Yeah, we just got to play our game, though. Like I told our guys, it's not a perfect game that you need to go and play. Just need to go out there and play well and do the things that you do well. And when we want to be good, we're very good defensively. We've had games where we've played fantastic. You mentioned, 9 of 30 and a half is if we hold that 2 halves in a row, we're going to win the game. There's no doubt in my mind. So we got to be ready to do that, and we got to be able to make some plays offensively. They're going to pressure you. We're going to have to beat them and take the ball strong to the basket and make the right basketball decision once we get in the lane. But I feel comfortable if we play our game, we can beat anybody. So I think our guys understand that at this point in the season. Now we got to go out and play our game.
Yeah, Coach, we talked about great players on their team. I mean, I think we have one of the best guard combos in the league in Pegram and Collins, but this team brings just as much experience to that as well as you bring in senior, as we look at the players to watch for senior Malik Miller, a guard 6'4", he's averaging 18.7 points, 5.2 rebounds, 3.5 assists. He kind of does it all for the team. And then you look at a redshirt sophomore, Armani Foster, 6'4" guard as well. He's averaging 18.3 points, 4.6 rebounds. He's shooting almost 50% from the field. I mean, it's going to be match for match in terms of guard play.
Yeah, they're both outstanding players in our league, in our region, at the Division II level. They can score the ball by making shots, by putting on the floor. They can post up. They can score in transition. So they create a lot of trouble, and their coaching staff utilizes those guys, understands their strengths, and puts those guys in situations where they can be successful.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of scoring from the backcourts for both teams there. It's going to be quite a shootout between those guys to see who comes out on the best side of there. That game's going to be taking place on Wednesday at 7:30. That's tomorrow after the women's game at 5:30. It's going to be a packed house, I guarantee, in the combo. IUP always travels well. Cal U, big promotions coming along from student activities, so I guarantee we're going to have a good crowd from both ends of the side. It's going to be a nice, loud game there. Coach, we also have a great promotion going on that day as well. The Wounded Warrior Project, our nonprofit organization whose mission is to connect, serve, and improve Wounded Warriors, is going to be there with veterans. Cal U Athletics will be recognizing the veterans during both the men's and women's game. To get involved, you can learn more to visit woundedwarriorsproject.com. We like to thank our veterans for their service and sacrifice, that allow us to play these games and, protect our country. I mean, what a great promotion there, Coach.
They're our heroes, no doubt about it. For what they do for our country is remarkable. So for us to be able to honor them Saturday, we're really excited about that.
Yeah, really excited. This new partnership we got going this year. They reached out to us. We're glad we were able to set something up with such a big game. It's going to be great support. Before both games, I guarantee the IUP and Cal U fans will be cheering, thanking them for their service, and we really appreciate them coming out and make a connection with the community as well here in Cal for service members and veterans that have served our country. Coach, 6 games left now in the regular season, a lot to play for in the seedings. We won't get too much into the Edinboro game. Obviously, that will be on Saturday on February 15th at Edinboro at 3 p.m. Nice early win there in the season. 108-71 win there. As we look at the upcoming schedule here, we got IUP at 7:30, CUTV, WCAL, closing out the season here with the final 6 games. We always appreciate the coverage. Also, those long trips up to, Edinburgh and Mercier, we always appreciate those as well. We got IEP, then at Edinburgh, Seton Hill coming in, nice close battle with, only 40 minutes away from each other. At Clarion, at Mercier, and then close out the season with Gannon on senior day, a team that's playing very strong down the stretch here as well. But, very exciting games still left here. There's a lot of teams in that action that are playing for seeds here. I think 4 of them have already clinched, so it's going to be very, very good games going down here at the stretch here. Like I said, IUP Cal U on Wednesday night at 7:30 at the Convocation Center. We're back, after a trip to Hamer Hall, but it's going to be a very raucous atmosphere. I expect a good crowd influence there, and, it's going to be an exciting game. We're going to wrap it up here on today's episode of the Danny Sancomb Show. We'll see you tomorrow night, and have a good day.